In this article, the columnist tries to explain the various needs of the elderly population. In this article, the columnist says there is growing elderly population in the two most populous countries, India and China. If they are not addressed properly, if the issues of the elderly population are not, if not addressed properly, it will become a challenge. So, in order to address these problems, what kind of reforms that can be taken? Can be taken or mentioned in this article. So he's saying that this challenge of growing old growing elder population can be or need to be converted into an opportunity. So for that, in order to convert into an opportunity, we need to have the social reforms, suitable reforms, he's saying. So, what does he say? He says that, see, since the growing of the age, with the growing of the age, many elderly people faces the issues of medical issues or mental issues. So further they need to consume the health services. So they are saying that, so it will be estimated around like 7 billion, so it will be rising. So in order to meet the demand, so currently the demand of the health care for the elderly is around 7 billion. And if you come to India particularly, at least one in three people will have a serious element. And along with this, they also have the issues of depression and the low life satisfaction. So and this and we along with this, if they have the economic insecurities also, it will be a very big problem for a country like India in order to address the needs of the elderly population. So he is asking us to take reforms for the meeting the demands of the elderly population. So such reforms need to have, it need to have a multi-sectoral approach. For example, they need to address the health issues of the elderly population. They need to address the economic and financial issues of the elderly population. And also the most important aspect is mainstreaming the elderly. We need to bring the elder people to the mainstream, it is saying. So and along with this also, then we need to have the health empowerment. So in this situation, he's saying that like recent government initiative like Ayushman Arogya Mandir and the Ayush, so these two are the good initiatives, he's saying. Further, what does he say? He says that, so in order to meet the health demands of the elderly population, we need to skill the workforce, particularly for the elderly. And he's also mentioning about the teleconsultation services. For example, if the elderly population, they cannot travel much, if they travel also, so there might be some discomfort. So in order to ease the access to the medical facilities, he is proposing the teleconsultation services. Further, he is saying that the health the health issues also the health concerns should also include the mental health services as well as the nutrition related services. Since the elderly, for example, if elderly people, if in the elderly people, uh, ma- husband and the wife, after spending years together, if somebody dies, they will have a syndrome called emptiness syndrome. It is because of the loneliness. So we need to address the mental health services and nutrition related services. For example, elderly people cannot take all the food, so they need to, then they can take only few food, depending upon the recommendations of their doctor. So we need to focus on these services also, the columnist is saying. Further, he is saying that another problem that elderly people face is the financial insecurities, because once they retired from their job, or if they grow old, this will become a burden to them. So in order to address this problem, we need to have a innovative approach, right? So we need to make the elderly people need to aware of the legal safeguards on inheritance and the rights of the elderly people. Further, he is also saying that there is a need for the reskilling of the younger population. So reskilling of the younger population that are going old. See if you consider me by 2050, I'll be an oldest person, right? So similarly, if people who are in the transition phase, they need to be reskilled in such a way that they will be mainstreamed in the coming days. So further, so reskilling also will also make relevant, and so there will also be demand in the labor market. And further they are saying that further the columnist is saying, so digital technology also should be reformed in such a way that it will be easy for the old people to access or to understand. He's saying further see, so there will be so many of opportunities provided by the growing elderly population. So it will be, and since the people are growing old, there will be consumption of the healthcare services. So this is leading to and a new phenomena called silver economy. So silver economy includes what? Economic activities and goods and services relating to the old age population, right? He's saying, so it is going to be 73,000 crores. So it is going to be 73,000 crores. So we need to have a reforms in order to capture the opportunities. He's saying that by 60 by 2031, 13% of the population will be 60 plus, and by 2050, 19% of the population will be 60 plus. He's saying, further he concludes saying that government has taken the two reforms. One is Sacred Portal, another is Sage Portal. Both are the initiatives of the Ministry of Justice and Empowerment. They try to promote the senior care products. Senior care products. So Sacred Portal is for the it connects the old age like elderly people to the private sector for the job opportunities. And another initiative is Senior Care Aging Growth Engine. So these two are the initiatives of the government to address the issues of the elderly population.